48 hours. That was all she had left. Not a warning. Not a maybe. 48 hours before everything she had quietly held together for 3 years would be carried out onto the street. Her name was Lillian, and if you had passed her on the road that morning, you would not have known. She looked composed. That was the thing about Lillian. She had learned very early that the world does not slow down for people who show their pain too openly. So she kept hers folded inside her chest, like a letter she never sent. But inside, she was calculating. The notice was still on the wall when she woke up, slightly crooked, as if even the paper knew it didn't belong there. Final notice. She had read it too many times already, not because she didn't understand it, but because she kept hoping the meaning would change. It didn't. Her phone buzzed. She didn't need to check. She already knew who it was. She let it ring. Then it stopped. Then it buzzed again. She picked up. "I hope you've seen the notice." "I have," she said. "Good. Then you understand I'm not joking this time. If you're not out in 2 days, I'll have your things removed myself." The call ended. No goodbye. Lillian lowered the phone slowly, and for a moment she just stood there, because when reality finally settles, it doesn't rush. It sits and waits for you to catch up. She went out. She started calling. Friends, old contacts, anyone she thought might help. "I'll pay you back. I just need a little time." The responses came quickly. "I wish I could. Things are all so hard here. Let me get back to you." No one got back to her. By afternoon, her voice had grown quieter. By evening, she stopped calling, because there is a point where asking stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like exposure. She sat on a low bench by the roadside, her bag beside her, the weight of everything pressing down at once. And for the first time that day, she allowed herself to think it. What if I don't fix this? The thought didn't panic her. It settled, heavy, real. "You look like someone who just ran out of options." The voice came from beside her. She turned slightly. A man was sitting a few feet away. She hadn't noticed him before. Simple clothes, nothing remarkable. He wasn't looking at her directly, just observing. Lillian didn't respond. She didn't have the energy for conversation, but he continued. "Landlord?" Her eyes shifted, just slightly. That was enough. He nodded once. "I thought so." Silence. Then, "I've seen you around." She frowned. "Seen me? Coming in late sometimes. Leaving early. Always in a hurry." "I don't know you," she said. "You're not supposed to," he replied, calmly, as if that were a perfectly reasonable thing to say. She picked up her bag. "I should go." "Wait." She paused. Not fully turning. "I can help you," he said. She had heard that before. Help always came with conditions. "I don't need favours," she said. "It's not a favour." That made her turn. Now, he was looking at her, not with pity, not with the kind of attention men sometimes gave women they wanted something from. Something else? Quiet, steady, certain. "What is it then?" she asked. He didn't hesitate. "Marry me." The words didn't register immediately, not because they were quiet, but because they didn't make sense. "What?" "I'll take care of your situation," he said simply. "The arrears. The next 12 months. Everything." Lillian stared at him, waiting for something. A smile? A joke? None came. "You don't even know me," she said. "I know enough. Why would you do that?" He looked ahead. "Because I can." That was it. No explanation, no story, just certainty. She let out a slow breath. "This is not normal." "No," he agreed. Cars passed. People moved. Life continued. But around them, everything felt paused. "You expect me to marry a stranger," she said slowly. "Because I can't pay my rent? I expect you to make a decision," he replied, "based on reality." That word landed. Reality. Not hope, not pride. Reality. "Why me?" she asked. He didn't answer immediately. Then, "Because you didn't leave." She frowned. "What does that mean?" "You had chances to walk away from things that weren't working. You stayed. That tells me enough." Lillian looked away, and in that silence, in the space between his words and her answer, something opened up inside her. A door she hadn't meant to open, because she remembered. She remembered who she had been. Before any of this, she had come to Lagos 6 years ago, with a degree, a plan, and a quiet confidence that people described as unusual. Not loud, not aggressive. Steady. She had worked 3 jobs in her first 2 years. She saved. She was careful. She paid her first rent 6 months in advance. For a while, it worked. Then one job closed. Then another relocated. Then the third replaced her with software. Within 11 months, 3 income streams disappeared. Not because she failed, because the ground beneath her kept shifting. She found new work. Lost it, found it again. The rhythm of survival in a city that does not pause. But this time, when the marketing company retrenched her, something cracked inside her that she had not managed to repair. Not her dignity, not her will. Something smaller but essential. The belief that trying hard enough was eventually supposed to be enough. That belief had cracked, and now she was sitting on a bench beside a stranger who was offering her a way out. She looked at her hands, then at the street, then back at him. Still calm, still certain, as if the outcome didn't worry him, as if he already knew it. She thought about the notice on the wall, the calls that went unanswered, the 7,000 naira standing between her and nothing. She thought about 6 years. 6 years of staying. 6 years of not leaving. And she understood suddenly why he had said what he said. Because you didn't leave. She exhaled slowly, then said the only thing left to say. Okay. The word was quiet, but it changed everything. He nodded once, not surprised, as if he had been waiting for it all along. And just like that, it was done. There was no celebration, just signatures and silence. Back at the apartment, things felt different. Not better, just different. The notice was still on the wall, but it no longer felt final. It felt temporary, and that alone changed everything. The next morning, there was a knock, firm, impatient. She knew that knock. She glanced at him. He didn't move, didn't speak, just sat there, calm. Are you going to get that? She asked. You can, he said. She walked to the door and opened it. The landlord stood there, his expression already arranged for confrontation. "I hope you're ready, because I'm not extending." Then he noticed the man behind her, sitting, watching. "What is this?" "My husband," Lillian said. The word felt new in her mouth. Strange. The landlord looked at the man, then back at her, then back at the man again. "You're the one paying?" he asked, his tone already dismissive. No response. The man didn't move, didn't react. That seemed to irritate the landlord more. "I'm talking to you," he said sharply. Still, nothing. Not defiance, not embarrassment, just stillness. The kind of stillness that doesn't come from having nothing to say. The kind that comes from having no reason to say it. The landlord turned back to her. "You have until tomorrow. I don't care who you bring here or what story you tell." He stopped, because something had shifted. Not in the room. In the silence, Lillian looked at her husband. Same face, same calm, unreadable. And for the first time since any of this began, a thought crossed her mind. Not fear, not relief. A question. Who did I just marry? And for the first time, she realized she had no answer.